In 2013, the Central African Republic made headlines around the world when the Muslim insurgents of Seleka seized power in a bloody coup. As the country descended into sectarian violence, France and the African Union committed boots on the ground, but the humanitarian crisis intensified. Today, armed militia effectively partition the country, guilty of killings, kidnappings, sexual crimes, and the forced recruitment of children. But for many international companies, it's been business as usual. Now, a global witness investigation sheds light on the Central African Republic's trade in blood timber. We reveal how consumers in France and other EU countries may be unwittingly funding a conflict their own armies have been sent to stop. The Central African Republic, or CAR, is rich in natural resources, but decades of despotic rule have helped ensure that they profit only a small elite. International timber buyers don't seem concerned. Even throughout the country's bloody civil war, exports have continued to flow onto international markets. This despite a new law in the EU aimed at keeping timber supply chains clean. Global Witness went undercover to visit one of Europe's biggest traders in wood from CAR, Tropica Bois, in the French city of Nice. Their representative was keen to provide assurances that, despite coming from a lawless country, their product was legal.
Au niveau de la légalité du bois,
Oui, oui.
donc avec eux, on est sûr de la légalité du bois. Parce qu'en Europe, maintenant, il faut que vous ayez tout un pouvoir importer, il faut qu'on soit assuré que les bois sont d'origine légale.
Du coup, est-ce que vous, c'est quel type de document, par exemple
Vous avez un certificat, ça dépend les pays, mais vous avez des certificats de qualité, vous devez donner la preuve que la société existe bien, qu'elle paye toutes ses taxes sur place, que les bois ont été contrôlés par un organisme certifié, genre Vivaco SGS. Enfin, vous avez tout un tas de documentation à apporter avec vos documents.
Back in CAR, the director of a European logging company painted a rather different picture. Unaware that he was being recorded, he suggested that proof of legality isn't worth the paper it's written on.
Si vous pensez que ces gens-là, ils sont capables de maintenir un État en ordre, c'est impossible. À la situation actuelle, on ne peut pas penser que là-bas, ça peut avoir une légalité fondée sur le respect de la loi et sur l'application des lois. Il n'y en a pas. Ça ne peut pas avoir. Donc, quelle légalité ça peut être quand quelqu'un vous pointe les calages sur la gueule?
The largest logging company operating in CAR is Sefka, responsible for about 62% of all exports. A high-ranking government official told us that Sefka, like other timber companies, shows little interest in the rules, preferring to buy government cooperation directly with bribes.
Ces sociétés-là sont terribles. Ils vont aller voir les dirigeants et ceux qui sont venus nouvellement. Je prends le cas de Sefka. Si aujourd'hui on met en place un gouvernement, ceux qui vont chercher, c'est les installer. Ils peuvent arriver chez le ministre pour lui fournir un congélateur. S'il n'y a pas de clôture, ils envoient un sac de ciment avec une enveloppe de 5 ou 10 millions CFA. Et après tu t'installes et eux arrivent avec leurs doléances.
Since 2013, such dubious deals have played directly into rebel hands. A document leaked by a government official to Global Witness shows that shortly after Seleka seized power, Sefka made a one-off payment of €381,000 to the Treasury to buy the goodwill of the new Seleka regime. €381,000 into the pockets of a regime whose militia is responsible for murder on a massive scale. This was one of many payments made by logging companies to warlords to ensure they could continue operating. But Sefka claims to be a victim itself, as it lost several vehicles during the upheavals. It says it hosted the Seleka forces as well as international peacekeepers for security reasons, and it has also reassured Tropica Bois, which Sefka's owners part own, that the timber is legal. Despite the arrival of international peacekeeping forces and the appointment in 2014 of a transitional government, rule by Kalashnikov remains the norm. Back in Nice, Tropica Bois didn't seem too concerned.
Donc il n'y a pas de menace de rebelles ou de...
Ah bah si, mais bon ça, pour l'instant on n'a pas eu le cas. Oui, des menaces, pour l'instant, tant que c'est pas stabilisé vraiment, il y en aura toujours. Mais
Ouais. Mais du coup, comment ouais.
Enfin, je sais pas,
dans mes
c'est tellement
souvenirs, ouais.
habituel qu'on
Ça
fait
fait
plus
longtemps,
attention.
mais
C'est tellement habituel qu'on fait plus tellement attention. Il n'y a pas de souci
Ok,
particulier.
d'accord.
C'est pas une guerre où ils s'en prennent aux blancs, c'est une guerre
Où ils sont, quoi?
où ils s'en prennent aux blancs, c'est pas une
D'accord.
guerre où vous pouvez pas y aller.
Against this backdrop of wartime trading, international donors including France and the EU have been promoting the timber trade as a means of fighting illegal logging and furthering development in the Central African Republic. But, as we can see, this has had a perverse effect. The country's timber trade has instead fueled conflict, corruption, and illegality. This has to stop. The French Development Agency is planning to continue to support logging companies that are part of the problem, not the solution to Car's troubles. It's time for European governments to take notice and take action.
Central African Republic isn't the first war-torn country whose timber trade has financed violence and destruction, but it must be the last. We call on the international community, from France to the European Union to China and the UN Security Council, to stop this harmful trade. They must investigate and sanction companies guilty of financing conflict and trading in this blood timber.